What is up with it? This is the Crimson Blur, and I am happy to be back with another Out of Focus. That is right. That logo was correct. We are doing another episode. That's how cool is that? And if you guys haven't been following my life very much, I no longer work at Twitch, just recently left. And therefore, I've been making a lot more content. I've been streaming on twitch.tv/the Crimson Blur. Somehow, I didn't put the link to that on any of these graphics to the left or right of me. And now I'm also hopefully going to be making more of these videos, right? And this video in particular is going to be about some viewer submitted questions, some donator submitted questions from Big House 2018. It's kind of been sitting on the pile of things to do for a long time. I apologize to you donators for taking this long, but your questions are just as relevant and important now as they ever were, and I want to be a man of my word and get to them. They're pretty spicy, so let me read the prompts and we'll get right into it. So question number 1 is Project M, my thoughts on the game, its current state of events, and if it ever has a chance for a revival, as well as if there was a conspiracy from SoCal Melee TO to scare Esports Arena into banning any events for the game outright. Question number 2 is Smash and charity events, how they mesh and their potential future. So one of the questions is a little spicy, as PM questions tend to be. As if you follow the history of PM in the Smash scene, you'll know it's been a tumultuous one, right? A lot of head scratching moments going on behind the scenes in that game, and I think not a lot of answers for the general public. I'll do my best to illuminate as much as I can. And the second question, charity events. I mean, a feel good thing, but I think a very important thing to talk about. So I'm going to answer the PM question first. This is the first prompt. What are my thoughts on the game? I think the game's pretty okay. I'll admit I haven't played it very much. I do think Roy and Wolf are really cool in that game. Like cool enough that kind of wish they were Melee levels cool. Certainly, PM Roy is a bigger asset and value than Melee Roy is. Like that, Melee Roy might as well not exist in the game. And I thought he was pretty cool, and relatively well designed. I think some other characters, hit or miss, right? Some of them I like, some of them I don't. But largely watching the scene and what they've done and how they've built out the game, it's a towering achievement, right? Like literally making an entire game, not from scratch, obviously it's a mod, but making an ecosystem and making a backroom for it and developing it all and building a competitive scene around that all of that's a towering achievement. It's one of the biggest achievements that the Smash community has ever made, right? Like it really makes you believe that we can do anything, and PM's a great example of that. The current state of it at events, so PM's not the biggest it's ever been. I think that it had its peak, especially with the cross pollination aspect. It no longer sees play at most of the major events. You won't see it at a Big House or a Genesis. You won't see it at Evo or what have you. But it's still at a handful, right? It's at low tier city, Smash and Splash. I believe the last Smash and Splash was like the third biggest PM tournament of all time. And that was like a month or two ago. So it's doing okay. It's not as big as it used to be. That's undeniable. But they're making some strides, right? I think that there's a new mod out, P+, that they're all working on. I haven't really played it or touched it. If you guys, have any commentary on it, if it's interesting, I wouldn't mind checking it out. But yeah, it has a hard time getting integrated at the mainstay TOing events. I think for reasons that most people at this point understand or know, the mainstay TOs, I have a hard time putting an unlicensed game at their event. That means like the non-Smash events, like the DreamHacks, the Evos, FGC sort of stuff, just straight up won't do it. And the Smash events that are big enough to have something to lose, also won't do it. Nonetheless, there's a decent tournament community around the game, just with very little cross-pollination, right? Very little cross-pollination. If it does have a chance for a revival, look, the way I always look at it is this is, the FGC / Smash Brothers. This is stuff where as long as people are playing the games and people are hosting events and people are making content, there's always a chance, as long as you do it the right way. In my experience, it's the quality of the content that matters the most. And ultimately, that's what's going to make the difference. So I'm looking forward to things like the new PM doc that's coming out. I know there's been a lot of hurdles along the way for its production, but maybe that'll make a difference, right? And also like whatever events are coming up on the calendar for PM, and making sure the top players like understand like how to storyline it all and spread their brand. But yeah, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it for you. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be very difficult for it to ever reach those heights again. But look, no one's knocking down your door and taking taking your PM copies and P plus copies away, right? Like you can still play with your friends. There's still Smash Ladder where you can play against other people, and there's still locals for you to play against. So the larger experience is largely the same. And frankly, like, look, it's smaller and it's definitely segregated. It doesn't, and there's a super super bitter taste in all PM players' mouths, as a result for being so segregated. But this says a lot more about Ultimate and Melee. But look, it's not that different from where Melee and Ultimate's at. Like in the grand scheme of things, you're like the 11th or 12th best Melee or Ultimate player. You're still on you're like on food stamps, dude. You don't make any money, right? If you're running tournaments for those games, similarly, you're not making money, and there's not much of a professional commentary scene around it. So for all that was given to sort of sacrifice PM at the altar for the professionalization of the other Smash games, not much was gotten back, at least so far, right? It's been a few years since PM's where it is, and its resources and its ability to thrive is not so different than where Melee and Ultimate are, realistically, right? Melee and Ultimate just have a few more avenues to enter third-party events like an Evo, for example, and have some success because they don't have to go through the licensing rigmarole, or they don't have to be a mod, basically. But with certain passionate people, that can be gotten around. So I think it's possible. It would need a lot more interest, a lot of good content, and some really passionate people. And so we'd have to see that. And then the final part of the question is the conspiracy that SoCal LATO scared Esports Arena into banning any events for the game outright. Look, I don't know what that part of the question is about exactly, but I will say this, is that in general, a lot of TOs, myself included, would be honest with outside organizations, whether it's Esports Arena or whatever, about the history of PM and what other TOs have done to deal with it, and whether there are pitfalls or not, right? And ultimately, the decision for whether they run PM or not is up to each individual event's TO, right? Like they have to make that call for themselves. If they tell you that someone else forced their hand, I highly doubt it, right? Unless it's the one company that could truly force your hand. So what I do know is that clearly, if there was a conspiracy, clearly didn't work, because I think Esports Arena is running a PM event like this weekend. I think it's called Encore. I looked it up. So they're doing stuff. It didn't work. Maybe it scared them off for a little while, but for my part, I've always tried to be an ally. Obviously, it's not my community of choice. I really care about Melee. It's just what I've been into, and care about general Smash as well. But truth is that Melee is my game, right? But I try to do my part. Like, I think if you talk to the SoCal guys out there in the PM community, I've tried to help, whether it's give them setups or leads onto venues or anything they need, and there's some really passionate guys out there. I've had, a good personal connection with a handful. Humble Dojo is the man, really, really good guy. And I'm not sure if he's around anymore, but you guys remember Jared? He used to run stuff out there for SoCal, and he was also a really good guy. So they're passionate, man. Like, look, dude, it's the same sort of stuff. Ultimately, our blood's the same, right? Our blood course is the same way. We all care about competition, and they love their game. So God bless. So that's I guess that's like my long and short of it. No one's gonna be kicking your door down and burning your copy of PM, right? You can still queue onto Smash Ladder. You can still hang out with your friends. You can still play the game at locals. So as long as that's true, you have a lot of resistance, right? Have at it, Hoss. And I really have, as someone who doesn't really watch the game very much anymore, I have nothing against it, right? Like I think it's great. But yeah, don't hold your breath for Matrix GOs to include it back in this roster. Likely not going to happen. You guys are going to have to do it on your own. I hate to say it. I hate to tell you all this. It's not great, but it's the truth. It's the truth. Okay, so what's the second question? Smash and charity events, how they mesh together and their potential future. So this one's more of a softball. But what do I think about Smash and charity events? And also, if I can make a bit of a call out. So I think Smash and charity is actually like something that I always want to see within the scene. I think that what we had with Smash the Record was really special. Really, really special. And it's a profound disappointment to me that we no longer have it. Like, we haven't had a 2018 Smash the Record, and it doesn't look like we're having a 2019 one as well. And that's really sad to me. If you go on VG Bootcamp's channel, it's always one of the most viewed tournament series. It's a lot of highly viewed videos. It's a great content base for our community. Also, it's a really good feel-good moment for us, right? No matter what drama is going on in Smash Brothers, we can always say, hey, we did it for the kids, right? We helped out St. Jude's. We did this thing. We made a little marathon going, and we did good. We did good. We feel good about it. And so that's so profoundly important to me, and it's important to me from a moral standpoint, right? Because when we spend all of our times, right, like in our youth, standing up events, making things happen, what are we doing it for? Are we doing it for Twitter followers? I hope not, right? Can we use our influence for good? And I really think what we did with Smash the Record and making a big tentpole charity event was really important. Now there is a handful of other charity things that have been done in Smash, and hopefully more will be done in the future. But none have reached the impact that Smash the Record had, like not even close. So if there ever is a future one, I'll be at it and I'll be supporting it. And I'll send the sirens out so that more people come. But truth is that I was a bit disappointed in 2017 the level of support that event got. Like super disappointed actually. Especially seeing on the back end, the reasons why people didn't go. And it's hard to blame people, especially in Smash Brothers, for choosing personal financial motivations, right? Like go to Smash the Record, like you're not making any money, charity event, and so you might want to stream from home, and you might not see a reason why you should travel across the country to go to this event, and I get it, right? But we can all afford it. Smash is in a healthy enough spot that there's a lot of people who can afford going to the event and support something for a good cause. So I don't like to guilt people into anything, but I do think it's important. And in 2017, the truth is Ludwig got fourth. Spark won. I think Gimmer got fifth in Wii U. And I shaved Hugs' legs. We still made it a fun show, but I think the point I'm trying to make is that the level of like top talent that was at the earlier events was a lot higher, partly due to organizational decisions. That's undeniable. It used to be in Florida. I tried to keep it in Florida. But it moved to SoCal because the organizer moved to SoCal himself, so it made it easier for him to organize. How do you blame him, right? But I think nonetheless, like SoCal has so many top people, they didn't go. That's lame, man. Especially if you're in the area, man. That's so lame. It's for charity, right? And what's worse, I think, is in my experience with these events, is that a lot of people aren't going on there on camera to make fun content pieces or commentate or whatever. And every single one I was at, I was commentating for a very long amount. Like I'm talking about 10 plus hours, like nights, and like long commentary stints, which I'll gladly do for the kids. And I think anyone would do. A lot of like DC, a lot of really good people put in hours to give us some of our best Smash the Record moments, and there are quite a few. Like I remember Uh, Gimmer coming out as One Punch Man. Uh, the Smash bot coming in and botting us all. E getting baited while raid donations. That actually went viral for a little bit. I remember I won a rock paper scissors tournament. I also broke a CRT. They made me do that. Lucky Falcon punching. Like there was a lot of really good moments for that tournament series. Um, but what I can tell you is that it was on the backs of like a handful of people. Guys like Gimmer, Apostle put in a lot of work. E put in a lot of work. Of course, Cherry himself put in a lot of work. But yeah, like more people contributing and kind of knowing that this is an important thing to do and trying to beat the record every year. We had it ended up getting really high. I think it was like 60K near the end. To really break that record became really difficult. But I think it's a really good thing for us to bring back. And I personally, maybe of any tournament series out there, I know a lot of people like to meme about Kings of Cali. I know a lot of people who are uninformed want to see Apex back, or whatever, like Melee FC or whoever. I think Smash the Record might be the thing I'd be most excited to see back. The content from it is very unique. It's something like we have. It's unlike anything else we have. It's great cross pollination with the speedrunning community, and it just feels good, man. It's a good weekend. You don't feel bad about yourself, like that you participate in that. You feel good about the community. Yeah. So charity is really important. Really important. Use our influence for some good. That's all I ever ask. So yeah, I care a lot. I hope that answers you guys' questions. Let me know. I know I took a long time to get back on this, but hopefully these videos satisfy, and I'll hopefully be making more out of focuses in the future. With maybe more of this sort of mailbag sort of stuff. I don't know. In the meantime, check out my stream, twitch.tv/crimsonblur. I'll be live. I'm out of town this upcoming week, but in a week and a half-ish, you can expect me back. I'm going to Puerto Rico. It'll be a good time. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.